Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters. Now, as some of you might know, from the UK I moved to the UAE and somewhat Pakistan. The UAE and Pakistan, basically I'm juggling between the two. Why? Maybe another video. I haven't made a video for a while, so I've been moving, Hijrah, a lot of going on. So subscribe to the channel because we're going to try keeping up with the videos. This year, inshallah, I'm going to be consistent on the gram, on YouTube, and wherever I can be. So I think this information needs to be shared as much as I can, and that's what I'm going to try doing this year. Now, I asked everyone on Instagram to ask me the questions that they've got in their minds of Dubai and Sharjah and UAE and Pakistan and Hijrah and that sort of thing. So let's go through some of them, the cost of living, visas, healthcare. Let me be specific in regards to the questions that were asked. So how easy is it to get a visa to live in Dubai or Sharjah? Now, for me, basically, I'll tell you what happened with me. I actually applied to Sharjah first. For whatever reason, I was rejected in Sharjah. We reapplied in Dubai, and my visa, alhamdulillah, went through okay in Dubai. Now, I went through an investor's visa. An investor's visa is basically you're trying to set up a company, you're going to have a business in Dubai, and on the back of that, you get a visa. So it cost me roughly 5,500, but that was because I applied in Sharjah first. It should be about 4,500 to 5,000. Just to give you an idea, it's called an investor's visa. And maybe later on down the line, I'll recommend someone to you, and the company that I use. This video isn't really for that. So my brother-in-law asked me this question, so I have to answer it. When do you know you're making enough money to make your side hustle your main hustle? Now, this isn't really regarding the topic, but I'll answer it anyway. When you have enough money to pay your bills, and the side hustle is making at least 50% of your salary, it's about time that you start focusing on your side hustle. So I would say 50% of what you're already making and your bills are being covered. Those two are important things, because look, it's a side hustle. If you're spending a couple of hours or a few hours a week doing what you're doing, and then later on, you're able to grow it, then that's a good mark. 50% of your salary, and you're able to cover your bills. So this is an interesting one. A lot of people ask this question: how dodgy is Pakistan in terms of the Sufi side? Look, it's very common, it is there's a lot of grave worshipping, it's a bit crazy, but there is a lot of good. A lot of people in Ahlul Hadith, there's a lot of good. It's not just Sufism, it's not. There's actually a lot of good, and in fact, I would say the youth are more going in line and away from the Sufism. So yes, it exists, yes, it's there, but there are some good as well. So do I think Dubai is a good place to raise kids? Possibility of being spoiled? Yes, I do think Dubai is a better place than the UK to raise your children. You're not going to see drugs out in the open, you're not going to see crime out in the open, so that's clearly a massive, massive positive. So yeah, I think Dubai is better than many of the Western countries. It obviously has its negatives as well. Is it the best in the whole world? Maybe not. But if someone said to me, they've got children, they're living in the UK, they want to move to Dubai, I'd say 100%, like, go for it. 1000%. Is 20k pounds great for Dubai? Yeah, look, it's 20k pounds. I think 20k pounds a month, yeah, it is a very, very good amount. I don't think there's any, you will not struggle in most places on 20k a month. So I don't think that should be, inshallah, much of an issue. You're probably in recruitment, that probably makes sense. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Young brother here looking to get into e-com in the Middle East, advice. So, Middle East, in my opinion, one of the best places to get into e-com. That's my opinion, because it's just not at the level of where the UK is, where America is, where the Western countries are. It's just not on that level yet, but it will go through that transition, as everything does. And so if you want to get into a market, there are some markets that are going to do amazing. These markets are growing in the Middle East. They're bringing in a lot of labor, they're growing, they're developing. So yeah, e-com is definitely, in my opinion, going to be a great place to be. Current economy in Pakistan, is there still scope for business? I wouldn't risk starting a business in Pakistan currently, but I have a strong feeling in another few years it's going to be a good place to invest in. So keep in the back of your minds, but don't really invest money in it right now. Very unsafe. If you've got the sort of money that you don't care about, that's different. You know what I mean? Why not? So for your recruitment agency, how many employees are you trying to have in Dubs? honest answer to this is as much as possible. The honest answer is we're going to try, inshallah, growing as much as we can. I will add though, in Dubai, the labor is extremely cheap, and that's why having a recruitment company in Dubai makes complete sense. For anyone asking, the recruitment course is now shut, and inshallah we'll be back in March, and will obviously be the 2.0 version, which will be an upgraded version, and yeah, inshallah it'll be great. But the point of answering the question, yes, I will inshallah be growing the team. There isn't a limit, we will continue growing. And the Middle East is the place to be, even when it comes to the recruitment market. But how much money do you guys need in Dubai and Pakistan? Look, Pakistan is cheap. So, you know, I would say if you have £2,000 a month coming to you in Pakistan, you're loving it. Yeah, you're good. Seriously, like, you are living an extremely lavish life. However, in Dubai, that is a negative. It is expensive. It's not for everyone. And so, the Dubai, UAE, even Sharjah is a little bit cheaper. It's more Muslimic, hence why I like it. It's not necessarily the cost as such, but it's expensive. So to give you guys an idea, I am going to be looking at roughly 150, 170,000 dirhams rent, 150 to 170,000 a year is what I'm looking at. If I get a better place, I might pay more. And obviously, by the way, you can get things a lot cheaper in Sharjah, especially, right? No doubt, I have to be very honest. I want a garden. I want a place where my wife wears the niqab, where my child could be. So I want a comfortable environment for them. So that's what I'm going to opt in for. However, you can move in 40, 50,000 dirhams a year rent, which is completely fine. No issues at all. In Dubai though, very expensive. Even if you put the rent aside, you're looking at 75, 100,000 dirhams rent a year, roughly again. Shopping is expensive, food is expensive, clothes expensive, taxis are expensive. Everything is more expensive than the UK. So if you think the UK is bad, Dubai is more expensive. You're paying for your own medical insurance, for example. And just to quickly cover that, medical insurance is amazing. When I say medical insurance, the medical treatment in Dubai, amazing. So much better than the UK. But obviously that's because we don't pay for it. In Dubai, it's like a business. And so therefore, it's amazing. You get really looked after because you're treated like a customer rather than a patient. So yeah, I mean, Dubai hands down is way better, but obviously it costs. In regards to costs, I would say I've been looking at packages for the three of us, me, my wife and my child, and I'm looking at £7,000 a year. That might sound again like a lot, but for me, to look after my family, £7,000 is completely worth it. So that's what I'm paying. Now, don't go by what I'm paying on, because you can get very good packages on like £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 a year. This isn't just saying, again, I guess I'm trying to give you the high numbers and the low numbers, but what I would definitely say is Dubai in itself is extremely expensive, 20% more than maybe what the UK is on average. But it also depends on where you live. If you live in an area which is a bit on the outside, you can get things cheaper. Groceries, you can get things cheaper. Completely depends on where you want to live and what you want to do. The good thing about Dubai is some of the things are super expensive, some of the things are super cheap. So it just depends on, Dubai really does offer you everything. So I hope that gives you some insight. I'm going to try and make it a part 2 because I know there were a lot of questions and I only left the Instagram questions to I only gave you guys like an hour on the gram. If you guys want to ask more questions, then follow me on the Instagram handle, which is Abu_Musa_CH. And yeah, that's all from me today. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.